Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. I'm very excited because I finally got my hands on the new Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look in a palette. I don't think I've ever had one of these. I think I've maybe thought about getting them and I've just never actually bit the bullet and got one. I just got the light one because I knew the medium dark one or medium deep one was going to be way too deep for me, and I could use some of the shades but not all of them, and I'm just trying to be more conscious with my purchases, and I'm sure there's other YouTubers that purchase both and do videos on both, but I want to purchase things that I think I'm gonna like, and that if I do like them, I'm going to use them. So I just purchased the light one, but I'm excited about this. And then I also purchased the Big Lip Plumpgasm, the new shade Strawberry Chocolate. I have the other three shades. I do have some swatches and comparisons. I love these. I absolutely love them. This is the packaging, so you can see here it's kind of the same thing, but these are great, and I loved the diamond one, which was like a gold with shimmer, and this one is like a pink with shimmer, so I do really like them. I actually like the shimmer ones more than the two original ones. And then she came out with a new perfume for the holidays. I don't think it's limited edition. I think it's going to be an extension of her fragrant collection. Controversial. I actually like the perfumes, and my favorite is Euphoria. My second favorite is More Sex, and then this is Star Confidence. So I just got the travel size because I have a lot of perfumes and I'm not a big fragrance person, but I did want to try it and I do like it. It's not going to top my top two, but I will talk to you where it's gonna fall. But I do like it. But it's a really nice fragrance, and I like the color. I think I would like the full-size bottle. I do have a full-size bottle of the Euphoria. That is my favorite. So I did purchase a full-size bottle of that one. So I think that this one, it's like an amber color, really pretty. So let's go ahead and talk about all these new products. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the palette before we do anything. I do have some swatches in Natural Sunlight, and I have already swatched this. I haven't used it, but I have swatched it. And first of all, the packaging is stunning. And one of the things I love about this is like cushiony. So this is it is actually like a pillow talk, which I thought was pretty. It is the Hollywood Instant Look in a palette, and this is the Pretty Glowing Beauty. So here are the swatches in Natural Sunlight, and you can just see the first three are going to be the eyeshadows. Then you have the face powder, which I believe is the same face powder that were in those heart palettes, so it's like a pinky toned. Then there's a bronzer, the matte blush, and a glow blush. And the glow blush is really just a highlighter. So it is, I don't see it as a glowy blush. I see it as a highlighter. Like I said, the face powder, I did declutter those heart ones. The color of the blush was the same one as this, and and then it was just really bulky. So I ended up decluttering it. I ended up giving it to a friend who really wanted it, and they had sold out. So I don't have the powder, but I think it's the same powder because it does have a pinky tone, and I'll show you some swatches in a little bit. But I think it's really pretty. The one thing I will say is the eyeshadow is very, very light. So this, to me, my initial impressions is that this is going to be something that I'll use on vacation. Like when I go on a cruise, not when I go to a theme park, because I tend to go a little bit, I like a little bit more makeup, but I think, or a good work palette. I think this is a really great, my initial impression is that this would be a really great work palette. This is not like a going out palette. So that's my initial impressions. I could be wrong, but I am excited to try it. I've never had one of these, and if I do like it, the eyeshadow I knew was going to be light. So when I purchased it, I did realize, I was like, okay, it's gonna be light. And it's even lighter than expected in person. I tend to, though, not gravitate towards light eyeshadows, but then when I use them, a lot of times I will like them. Not always, but a lot of times. So I'm really hoping that's the case. The bronzer and the cheek and stuff, all I think are pretty standard, to be honest. The best thing about this palette is absolutely packaging. This is $69, which is pretty expensive. There will be a sale, so don't feel like you need to run it out. Or I do have a promo code. I'll put it down here, and then it'll also be in the description box below. I don't mention it because they change it on me from time to time, and I don't want to, it could be changed right now. I'm not even sure. Okay, so before we get into it, let's go ahead and go over the description. Inspired by the Hollywood pink lipsticks to create a makeup palette with cool and neutral tones that capture the ethereal rosy glow that you see on the red carpet. Pretty Glowing Beauty features 3 eyeshadows for dreamy, soft glam eyes, as well as 4 powders, a bronzer, 2 blushes, and a finishing powder, shades for an effortless Hollywood complexion. So here are the shades. The 3 eyeshadows are the Brighten shade, which is a neutral pink with lilac shimmer, Enhance, which is a cool toned lilac pink shimmer, and Smoke, which is a cool toned biscotti brown matte. Then you have the Awakening Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder, cool toned pink to brighten and color correct. The bronzer, which is a medium brown, it's a new formula. There's a matte blush, which is a lavender rose matte, and then a glow blush, which is a pink champagne opal shimmer. Again, the glow blush is a highlight. The one thing I do like about this compared to, I tend to gravitate more towards warm tones. So a lot of these shades are different than what I have. I will show you some comparisons in a bit with other, like kind of the closest things that I have that are Charlotte Tilbury, so you can see the difference. So even the bronzer, I have the medium bronzer, powder bronzer. It is a different formula, and this one is definitely creamier, and then the shades are different. It's definitely more cooler tone than what I typically have, and like the blush, it's not as pink. Like if you look at this pink right here, it's not as cool toned pink as this one, but I compared it to Pillow Talk. I thought it was going to be very similar to Pillow Talk, and it's not. Pillow Talk looks peach next to it. So, but let's go ahead and dive right into it. We're going to go first with the eyeshadow. Okay, so first up, I'm going to go in with the Smoke Shadow. Again, it is a cool toned biscotti brown matte. So I don't have anything except just powder and probably a little foundation maybe. I don't even think I put concealer. So this is actually a really nice shade, goes on pretty nicely. You know, this one, I will say, when I swatched it, it looks in the pan, it looks to be a lot lighter than the bronzer, but it's not, because when it goes on, it feels like this one goes on a little bit, it's a little bit more pigmented when it goes on. So I do really like the Smoke shade, which I'm just putting all over the lid, because to me, I'm going to say this is going to be like it's an instant look in a palette. To me, this is going to be something that I would do on, you know, I could easily do this in the car, or if I went to the gym before going to work, you know, I could do it that way. Now, as always with these palettes, you can always use like the blush shade or even the bronzer shade for something else on the lid. I a lot of times will use the blush shade as a, you know, an eyeshadow, and I totally could use it with this. I'm going to use it though as it's designed. So I'm going to go in with that Enhance shade right here, which is described as a cool tone lilac pink shimmer. And honestly, I was looking in my current collection as far as Charlotte Tilbury, and I don't have really anything like this. So this is I'm gonna go in with my finger. Now I can put it, I'm gonna wet it and make it stay a little bit. I'm gonna take some of the setting spray and apply it, because I do want it to be a little bit more impactful, and it is so light that it just kind of isn't. So I'm gonna do that and put it on and just kind of go over the lid. Again, it's very light. It is a lot lighter than honestly than I would prefer. Okay, so that is the Enhance shade. Very light, very subtle, not a lot of sparkle. And then we're gonna go in with this Brighten shade, which is described as a neutral pink with a lilac shimmer. And it is not picking up on my brush. Okay, let's go in with, well, I guess it is, it's just very, very light. Okay, so I'm gonna go in again with the setting spray and see if I can get some, because it's just not really picking up. Yeah, that worked better. So I did spray it a little bit, and not my favorite thing to do, to be honest. Not bad, but it's not my favorite thing to do. And this is just kind of hard to pick up. Yeah, it's going on. So you can see the shimmer. I can do it on the eyebrows so you can see it really showing up. So it is showing up, but it's very, very sheer. It is a very, very sheer eyeshadow. Okay, so there's the look, and now I'm going to go in with the smoke shade, and I am going to line the bottom lash line. I usually do this instead of lining with a liner. I might go in with a liner as well, but I do like just kind of adding a little bit of color on the lower lash line with the whatever transition shade I used. Okay, so there is the look. I will put on some mascara in a little bit. Very, very subtle, very simple, and very daytime. So not a bad look. Definitely not something I would gravitate towards. I'm gonna put a little bit more in the transition shade on this side. But, you know, if you, like, I could see myself going into the office and using this as something I use like every day, quick and easy. You've got everything here. So, but let's get into the face powder. I did already powder my face. I completely forgot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the face powder to powder under my eyes just a little bit because it is a Brighten shade. And I normally wouldn't use a pink shade all over my face anyway. So I'm just going to kind of do my T-zone. You're not gonna see much of a difference here, but I do love this powder. I believe it's the same powder that is in the compact. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with the blush. Now the only downside with these palettes is that you have to be very careful as far as kind of getting in here. So I am going to use one of my Sigma blush brushes. I forgot what it's called, but it's pretty much the standard one. Little bit of fallout here, a little powdery, but we're gonna go in and just go in like a normal matte blush. Pretty pigmented, really nice shade. I could see myself using this also on the lid if I wanted just to get a little bit more depth, maybe using this as a transition shade and then using the smoke to kind of deepen it, deepen the crease and deepen the outer corner. But really pretty blush. The blush is described as a lavender rose matte. And I will say, I looked at my collection and I kind of did some swatches. I just showed I just did a comparison swatch with the Pillow Talk because I thought that was the most like common, but I really don't have any matte blushes like this, or actually any blushes like this, because it's like a shade that you think and they're like, oh, it's a shade in everything, but it actually is pretty different than anything I have. Okay, really pretty matte blush, nothing to write home about. We're gonna do the bronzer next. I'm going to use, this is my Rare Beauty brush. I forgot which one it is, but it's nice and thin. So I like using this for type palettes like this and my Hourglass palettes. I use something like this for bronzer. So I'm gonna go in, ooh, that's a really pretty color. Really pretty neutral. It is a medium brown, that's all it says, medium brown, but I will say it's pretty neutral. I didn't think it was too orangey leaning. I could be wrong, but I didn't think it was too orangey leaning. And it's a nice bronzer. So it's actually pretty pigmented, but really nice color. Okay, bronzer's really pretty, goes on really nicely. I did put a little bit too much here and I blended it out pretty nicely. Thought it really worked really well. And that brush worked really well. Like I said, with pans like this, it's always hard to do that. I hate that the blush or the highlighter is like the same size as the other powders. It drives me nuts, but I understand it for like aesthetically. It's hard to make it a different size, but it's just kind of, to me, it's like I'm never going to use that much of a highlighter. And I know it's called a glowy blush, but it's a highlighter. So I'm going to go ahead in with that, and I'm going to just use it as a highlighter because that's what it is. And it's very similar. I don't have the Pillow Talk highlighter anymore. I did declutter it because I just didn't use it. Usually highlighters I use are in other palettes, so I don't have too many of them. But it's a really pretty color. It's a really nice shade. Let me go ahead and just kind of do a little bit down the nose. Really pretty, not too impactful, but not too subtle either. So I think it's a good highlighter for the day. So it's nice. Okay, so there's my look. I'm gonna go to my vanity, put some mascara on, make sure it's even, and then come back and we'll go over the other two products. Okay, so here's the look. Honestly, when I got to my vanity, I was like, oh wow, I kind of like it. It's nice. It's really nice, but it's very basic. The whole thing about this is that it is in one package. That's what it's all about. Now, really quick, I'll show you the quick swatches that I did comparing some of the other shades, just so you can kind of see if you have these products, just so you know what you're getting. So here is the swatches. The first swatch will be the palette. The second one will be the product. So the first one is the blush, the matte blush. You can see that it's like a cool toned pink. The next blush is the blush that's going to be the Pillow Talk Cheek to Chic, or Chic to Chic, whatever, that blush. So you can see where this is definitely more of a cool tone pink, whereas the Pillow Talk is more neutral, warm leaning. Then the two bronzers, you can see the first bronzer is the one from the palette. The second one is the medium powder bronzer. So this one is actually a little deeper, and it is a different formula. I did notice that when I swatched. The next two are the setting powders. The first one you can see is the one from the palette, and you can see that it has a pink hue to it. The second one is the Fair Airbrush powder, and that one is more of a yellow tone, kind of more skin tone, but you can definitely see, and I really kind of laid them on heavy so you could really see the shades. And then the last two is hard to see. They're very, very fair. But the first one is the highlighter or glow blush from this palette, and then the second one is the highlighter that is in the Hollywood Blush Glow Glide palette. So you can see that this one has definitely got like a pinky hue. So just so you know, it is the palette from here. So it's this one. And this one kind of looks pinky, but when you're comparing them, the other one is more brighter. So this one's a little deeper. That one is a brighter, highlighter. So, but all in all, I like the palette. Is it worth $69? I don't know. I think it's really up to what you need. But like, if I'm going into an office every day, this would be very, very convenient. I could do it in the car. I could do it at the gym. Very, very convenient. You got everything here. All you need is some brushes. Now we're gonna go into the Big Lip Plumpgasm, $35. This is the strawberry chocolate shade, and I love these. This suggests that you wear it with Icon Baby, so I did have that lip liner, so that is what I'm wearing. It is a pink plumping lip gloss with diamond sparkle that makes lips look bigger and plumper, and I love these. I think they're great, and I love the ones with the shimmer. I love the original two, but I really like the two new ones. This does say it's limited edition. So did the other one, the diamonds one, and you can still get it. So limited edition, sometimes they sell out, sometimes they don't. So, it just depends on how bad you want it. But love it. It looks great. Definitely works well with the palette as well. So here are the swatches of the 4 Big Lip Plumpgasms. The first one is going to be the strawberry chocolate. The second one is the Big Lips, the diamond gasm. I forgot what it's called. And then the second two are the original two Pillow Talk. The first one is the light, and the second one is the medium to dark. And you can see that those don't really have the shimmer. So those are more opaque, but they don't have the shimmer. So I like all 4, to be honest. I have all 4. I love all 4. And I'm actually almost out. I wore the Pillow Talk darker one a lot when it first came out, and I'm almost out of it. So when the other one came out, I kind of stopped wearing it, but I will probably end up getting another one of those. But I really love these. These are great. So $35. And what I love about it, I don't think I have it. Oh yeah, it comes in a little, so if you wanted to give it as a gift, I think it's a really cute little Christmas gift as well, because it kind of comes wrapped for you. Okay, and finally we're going to talk about the new fragrance, which was a surprise, and I'm going to tell you what I love about it. It has a crown on it. So if you know, I am a retired pageant girl, so you can see it has a little crown, kind of hidden, but it's there, and it is called Star Confidence. And so this would be the 7th fragrance. She came out with 6. This is the 7th fragrance, and it is a warm floral fragrance that enhances feeling of confidence. The top notes are juicy black currant absolute. The heart notes are sophisticated jasmine, sambac absolute, dewy jasmine accord, and sensual davana oil. I don't know what any of those are. And then the base notes are addictive natural patchouli oil, vibrant confident oak moss absolute. So I've actually, you can see I've already used it a couple times, but I'm just gonna spray it. And again, I did kind of go back and look at my my ranking, and I did buy Joephoria, the big bottle, and then I bought additional travel size of More Sex, because those are the 2 that I use the most. The other 4 I still have, but I just don't use as much. And I went back to my 3rd choice, and this is definitely would be my number 3. I do really like it. It lasts really well. I used it over the weekend. It has a really great longevity. I really like, it's definitely stronger, and it's definitely a little more masculine than the Joephoria. I'm really bad at describing fragrances though. So, but there were a couple that I really didn't care for. So I think it's worth checking out. I like them. I love the travel size. I think they have really, really, really great longevity. So again, I'm not a big fragrance person, but I did pick it up and I like it. Okay, there you have it. Those are the 3 new items that I picked up: the Instant Look in a palette, the new Big Lip Plumpgasm, and the Star Confidence fragrance. Love all 3. Are they worth, this is $25, which I do like, but a lot of times they'll have sales or they'll have bundles. Definitely look into bundles. She does usually have a really good holiday sale, so don't know if this will be on sale. These are supposed to be limited edition, so I don't know. I think that there probably needed to be a 3rd one, somewhere in the middle, because this one is really, really light, and the deep one is really kind of deep. So there was too many things that I wasn't going to be able to use the highlighter, the powder was going to be too dark for me. So there seemed to be something in between. I think she needed a 3rd one and maybe make that last one a little deeper. I don't know, but I do really like them, and I will get use out of this. This is something I will use every day. So but do I recommend it? It depends on what you need. If you need something for every day or something quick for travel, get it. If you don't, then you're probably not going to need it. You're probably not going to want it. Love the lip gloss. Just depends. It is a powerful lip gloss. I'm fine, but I can feel it. But it's intense, but not unbearable. And I like the fragrance, but fragrance is subjective, so that's hard. I do have a 10%, I think it's 10% code. It'll be in the description box below. And as always, if you use my affiliate link, I really appreciate it. It helps me buy these products for this channel. So with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.